why are you starting with the Pacers? Why are you starting with the Pacers?
Michael Jordan retired, and then they said, okay, we're going to have a short season because Michael Jordan's not here.
Everybody said
it's the Pacers.
Because they practiced during the lockout.
That's right. Yeah, they were hanging together. Larry Bird, your buddy Reggie Miller, everything looked great. And Detlef
you still have to play the game.
What was the guy? Not the Detlef Schrempf.
Rick Schmitz.
From Holland or something.
Jeff is on Seattle.
Something like that. But and then they get in there and they wilt. They wither. They just disappear.
I was happy. Your man Reggie shot 3 for 18.
Yeah, well, he just took a walk. What's that all about? So anyway, when you go to Indianapolis for those games,
they were on me.
And you have your Knicks uniform on.
Right.
How old are you, by the way?
42.
42, and you're sitting there with your Knicks uniform on.
Right.
You go trick-or-treating, too?
Trick-or-treating? I was just conservative to how they dress Indiana at the games.
So how do you get along with the folks in Indiana when you're there barking at everybody?
They hate me.
Really?
Yeah.
How does that make you feel? Does that make you feel good?
I felt good when I looked up at the scoreboard as the game was over.
But now, as much as people were talking about the Pacers, there were not enough bad things to say about the Knicks. Now all of a sudden,
they talk about Latrell.
Yeah, I know. So toward the end of the season, Patrick goes down again.
Right.
He was injured like twice for significant periods of time during the shortened season.
Right.
And now the team's got to change all around. And not only did they change all around, they become very effective.
Up-tempo
when
game.
it counts. All of a sudden, it's a whole different ball club. It's a pretty impressive thing, don't you think?
Yeah, actually, I'm not even here. I'm courtside at the Garden right now.
yeah, that's right.
And I hope we're winning. Or the season's over.
And then Latrell Sprewell, that's a pretty good story, isn't it?
American dream.
Yeah. Here's a guy who really can ignite the entire team, the entire game, actually.
Well, he's one of the fastest players in the game, along with Allen Iverson.
Do you get along well with the guys?
Oh, great, all the guys.
Has anybody ever come over to you and said, Spike, please, just shh, any of that?
Nah, last night, me and Mario Ellie were having a running conversation the whole game. He plays in San Antonio. He's from New York City. So, the one incident with Reggie, that's the only thing where it got out of hand.
Yeah.
Everything else is very cordial.
But you and Reggie are actually friends.
We're very good friends.
You're good friends, yeah. What is going to happen to the Pacers next year? Is Larry going to retire?
Well, they're kind of old. They got to do something.
Well, see, that's it. But Larry, I mean, he's only a second year as coach.
Well, I hear he's very disappointed in his team. They didn't put out, and they're all still crying. I mean, it's one thing to lose, but to lose to the Knicks.
Right.
Sin City.
Because these are the guys, they almost handled the Bulls with Michael Jordan a year ago, the Pacers. Huh?
That was a year ago.
Yeah, 7 games. Yeah, absolutely right. And then Jeff Van Gundy, I heard he injured himself during the game, hyperextended his comb over. Did you hear that?
That's cold.
I know, it's cold.
It was very cold.
And this guy had to chew and fight and claw for everything during the season because, like, Game 2, we may be bringing in Phil Jackson. Game 2, they're talking about bringing in Phil Jackson, so he's got to live with that on his back.
No, we had that the whole season.
Yeah,
really.
that goes away finally. Now he's going to be back next year. He's got to come back. They have to do this for him, bring him back, don't you think?
But it's not sealed, though.
You don't think so? So you're saying it wouldn't surprise you if Jeff Van Gundy doesn't come back?
I'm not surprised. He still has a meeting with Dave Checkers, and he has some things to answer to. And some of the players might have something to say about where he comes back to, besides Patrick Ewing.
But you thought he did a pretty good job?
I did a great job.
Yeah. And who on the team doesn't like him? Does Latrell not get along with him?
I'm not. You got to talk to.
No, but you brought it up. You
Peter
said,
Vexi. Not me.
You said that some of the players are going to talk to some of the players. Now, who didn't like him? Latrell? He's a troublemaker.
Latrell's American dream.
He's dying to choke. He's dying to choke Van Gundy. You know he is.
That was one incident. That was one incident.
It's crazy. I mean, it could have all been decided earlier tonight. We just don't know. But it just never felt like it was. It felt like it was going to be close. Never felt like it was going to be all the way. Did you have that sense about the Knicks?
No, I still think they can win 3 in a row.
First team ever to come back from.
Yes.
Okay. Let's talk about the movie Summer of Sam, and do people explain what where the name comes from, and then the circumstances of that summer?
Well, the biggest misconception about this film is that people think that this film is just totally a movie about David Berkowitz,
Right.
the maniac,
Serial killer.
who terrorized New York City in the summer of 1977. This film was about the effects his craziness had on 8 million New Yorkers that summer, which was heightened by one of the hottest summers ever.
Mm-hmm.
Consequently, we had the blackout and the looting, but it was also the summer, big summer disco just happened, Studio 54 opened. It was Reggie Jackson's first year with the Yankees. You have punk rock, Plato's Retreat, as you know about,
Yeah.
was still... Tell them about Plato's,
They
Dave.
still got a pair of my socks hanging up over there.
So you have all these things which made all these things came together and was insane, crazy summer.
It was an odd energy in the city. You could feel it was palpable.
Yes.
What were you doing in '77?
Well, I just finished my sophomore year in college, Morehouse College in Atlanta, Georgia. Came home, could not find a job. I got in the Super 8 campus. I just spent the whole summer just running around New York City filming stuff.
Right.
And that is when I decided, at the end of that summer, I wanted to be a filmmaker.
You're a filmmaker. Good. You know, is your next film going to be about Jackie Robinson, or is that one you're working on?
You got any money?
Because this is a movie.
No, I want to make it. We want to make it. We got the script. We still do not have the financing to do it.
There have been movies made about his life, haven't there?
There was
I'm sure.
the court martial of Jackie Robinson, which is a cable movie, and then the Jackie Robinson story, which he played himself in, which is, I think came out 1950.
But and you know this better than anybody. When this movie is made, it has to. You have to get all of this one. It has to be the definitive record because
Right, and that's
story,
why we can't do it for peanuts, and we'll just wait till we get the right amount of money that it takes to shoot it correctly.
Yeah, but I mean that story is one of the great. You know, it transcends sports, transcends culture.
One of the great American stories of the 20th century.
Yeah. Okay, let's take a look at a little bit of Summer of Sam here. You know what you're going to see?
Yeah, we're going to see a scene that takes place in the pizzeria, and the vigilante group, the lynch mob, they're going over the list trying to figure out who is son of Sam.
All right, this is the summer of 1977 here in New York. Take a look.
I know who the killer is. I figured it out. Reggie Jackson.
I don't know, you idiot.
Serious. Son of Sam, Uncle Sam, Yankee Doodle Dandy, Bronx Bombers, New York f***ing Yankees.
What, are you mixing acid with your dope now?
What kind of gun did the killer use? 44 caliber, right? What's Reggie's number? 44.
Odd, ain't it? Crazy summer. Good to see you.
Thank you.
And we'll see what happens, all right?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not even here. I'm telling you, I'm not here.
Thank you, Spike. Good to
Thank
see you
you.
again. Spike Lee, ladies and gentlemen.